Okay, my name is Rumpelstiltskin, and I'm going to tell you the story about why I am the way I am. Um, Most people, when they look at my face, they see Bobby Burrows. Rumpelstiltskin is my partner in change. If you can say there's anything that Rumpelstiltskin and I have in common, it is change. Change agents. And Bobby Burrows has a master's in business administration and a bachelor of science. And he doesn't do anything in business whatsoever. I look up some of my friends who are heavily involved in business. And I know if they were to look at me now, they'd think I'd gone crazy. Because I don't do business at all. In fact, I have wholeheartedly rejected everything I ever learned about business as being corrupt and wholly evil. I suppose you could say that I've had a spiritual awakening. I don't know, though, because it sounds kind of religious, and I'm not religious. But I am definitely looking at the way that the world is. And in my many years on this planet, seeing the way this world is, seeing the way that it keeps going, I lay a lot of the blame at the feet of capitalists, businessmen. Somebody says, "Are you a crusader?" Yes, I am crusading to get rid of capitalism, corporate entities, business altogether. Why? Because it doesn't serve the population of planet Earth. I was reading a fairly new book, and the book is about everything that's happened since the end of World War II as far as working towards raising the standard of living of humans on this planet. And it is a big con game because this book says there are billions of humans who are struggling to even survive on this planet. And it's not just in third world countries, but that is a huge problem area. But it is right in first world countries. Cannot go out any day without this problem right in my face. In my backwards little town, people who work long hours cannot afford to make ends meet. This is capitalism and this is business. And then when I see the people that I considered friends when I was in my 20s, that I went to business school with, working for enormous financial empires, I wonder, if I was going to give them a video to explain how it is that I look at you as the enemy of planet Earth, and I see, you say that you are not what you are. You work 40 hours a week for this enormous corporation, enormous banks. And then you say, on my spare time, oh, well, I'm into social causes, social justice. No, you ain't. You can't counteract your 40 hours a week at a bank or an enormous corporation by donating to the United Way. You can't counteract it. If you really understood what it is like for billions of people on this planet, and your capitalist system has had plenty of time to prove that it could raise the standard of living for all humans on the planet. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, and you have invested your lives into making the capitalist elite even richer and making the poor suffer. When I look at you, I want to say, I see the face of evil in the people I went to school with at business school. And you don't think I'm kidding. Why don't you think I'm kidding? Because it's a comedy channel that I do on here. It's not comedy. George Carlin, the famous comic from when I was young, talked about the same issues then. He didn't like capitalism. He could see how it was a nightmare for people on planet Earth. People paid big bucks to go and see George Carlin, and they would laugh because they knew in the heart of hearts he was telling them the truth. But they went back to their 40-hour-a-week, high-paid corporate job, banking job. The World War II generation had the nickname the Greatest Generation because they saved the world from Nazi Germany and fascist Italy and militaristic Japan in World War II. My generation, it's our turn to save the planet from capitalism and the leftovers of World War II. Project Paperclip was an American government program to spirit out Nazi scientists and Nazi intelligence officers and Nazis in general from Germany after Germany collapsed in World War II, to put them into positions of power in the United States because they had a lot of smarts when it came to science and technology and spying on new enemies called the Russians. The deep state is what's often called those government actors who report not to Congress, not to the president, to no one at all. This is what we are facing today on planet Earth. Me, a former MBA who tries to express what I feel on a censored YouTube channel. It's censored. I'm totally shadow banned on this thing. Am I paranoid? Is it paranoid when you're telling the truth that there is a war on for the control of planet Earth? Who's warring? It's the people who control the planet using capitalist tools, banking tools, versus those of us who are called awake, awake, awake to the fact that this has been going on for centuries. All I have is my voice box. That's all I have. And I'm highly censored. That's what they're afraid of. The people who control planet Earth, they're afraid of my voice. Because I'm not the smartest cookie on the block, but I'm no dummy, and people who've known me over the years know that. And if somebody like me can decide to withdraw from the business world and live on the margins because I can't stomach the way I feel about the way this planet is going under corporate banking domination, how are we going to be called the greatest generation for the next generations if all we do is screw them? Rumpelstiltskin is not going to be able to tell you anything more than I am. From his perspective, humans are a parasite on planet Earth. He speaks for different kinds of beings. Different kinds of beings. And he feels like he doesn't have a voice at all. Humans don't listen to beings like Rumpelstiltskin. So, he uses me to get his point across. And he knows I'm highly censored. And he knows I feel totally abused and stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you're watching this video, I highly doubt you're going to pull out of the Matrix. That's what it is. The Matrix movies are a documentary on planet Earth. It's not fiction, it's real. People are very happy to talk to you about football and baseball scores and who got laid last night. But when you start talking about serious topics like the battle for planet Earth, the battle to topple the capitalist, banksterist structures on this planet, if you're one of those people, you're looking at me and you're going, you've really lost your nut. You're either part of the problem, part of the solution, or you're sitting on the sidelines. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're part of the problem. It's very difficult because if you pull out of your bank job or your corporate job, you still have to live in a money economy where the prices are astronomically inflated. since the time I went to business school. And when you go into the coffee shop and you see someone working for minimum wage serving you coffee and a donut, and you say, well, they could have gone to business school. You know, I don't know what they were doing, but, now they're working serving you coffee. You might not have white privilege, but you've got some other kind of privilege, and it's blinding you. It's totally blinding you. You've got some kind of ego problem, and you can go to your high-rise apartment or to your gated community, and you can have cops on speed dial in case someone shows up that you think is going to attack you or something because you're wearing a gold Rolex and you drive a nice car. Some people say that when you die, you go through life review. I don't know if it's true, but if you do go through life review, you're going to get someone like me talking to you, saying, I pulled out of this nightmare thing oppressing the human world. Why didn't you? And the excuses that'll come to mind are, what? How can you justify abject poverty of billions of people on planet Earth? How can you justify it? You hid away your whole lifetime in your ivory tower, and you said, well, there's foreign aid. No, there ain't foreign aid. All there is capitalism, imperialism, colonialism. That's all there is. Keeping the poor poor, hollowing out the middle class, and the 1% owning the planet. Maybe you think that's okay. If you do, you're my enemy. You might have known me at one time as being one of you when I was young and naive, trying to figure out how I was going to run my life. But you're my enemy now. What are you going to do about it? All I've got is my voice. I'm not coming after you. But if you believe in an afterlife, it'll be me or someone like me talking to you about the mistakes you made along the way. And if you watch this particular video, I'm sure they're going to rerun this video for you and say, what did you think about this guy, this MBA who made a video and told you that you are on the wrong side? You just blew it off and went for a drive in your new Corvette. It's never going to be easy to decide you've had enough of working for the oppressor, because you've got all the accoutrements that come from being a high-priced technocrat who can look the other way at the poor people in your country and the poor people in the third world. On the bright side, if you're my age, you've probably got 30, 30 years more to live on this planet before you get your life review. And the way that this planet is going, if you don't pull out of the matrix and your capitalist ideology, I don't know how you're going to live with whatever is left after you drop your body and you become a spirit. How you're going to live with yourself when you come to look back on what planet Earth has become because you chose not to be part of the next greatest generation. You decided to be the oppressor of planet Earth. I don't think I'm really doing a good motivational speech because it's kind of, me pointing out all the faults that I see. How do I motivate you to go the other way when it's really going to be hard? Maybe you've got a nice nest egg of money. When I pulled out of the capitalist economy, I didn't have a big nest egg. Maybe it's sour grapes because the capitalists really never used me. Oh, they used me, but they didn't use me, as a high-priced CEO or banker. But they still used me. In the eyes of the capitalist, I am a great failure. But in my own eyes and in my heart, I can live with myself and I can live with that. What I can't live with and have to is being shadow banned and censored by artificial intelligence on social media. How do you fight artificial intelligence? It's a huge planet. How are you going to make change using your voice when you don't even live in New York or London? There's an old song that sometimes I sing at karaoke. It's Alvin Lee and 10 Years After. A song about if I could change the world, I would, but I can't, so I leave it up to you. Are you going to be part of the greatest generation? 2.0? Or are you going to be allied with Darth Vader and the evil Emperor? That's how I see you. You work for the evil Emperor. If you don't think I'm kidding, where do the homeless people in your city live? Why don't you take a drive down there? Just drive by where the homeless people are. And if you're really rich, why don't you fly to Africa? See how the people are doing there.